In this video I want to show you this particular variety of poppy. It's papaver rhoeas, developed by a Reverend Wilkes in, I think it was in Essex somewhere, and it was in the 1800s. Now, he discovered that a particular field poppy was producing a kind of a white flecking instead of the usual black flecking, and what he did, he worked on it over the next 20 years, and he developed his own series of poppies called the Shirley series. I think there's even a pub named after the Shirley poppy around the vicarage where he actually developed it. Now, I'm no genius on this particular genus, and I've not done enough research on it, but I just wanted to bring it to the attention because it's the perfect weather to show you it. It's a very papery thin poppy that produces a lot of different colours. Now, he developed it to be to have this white flecking, so anything that's considered to be a true Shirley poppy must have that white inner. So that's got it. The pink one's got it. There's a red one here, also got it. That's a lot more redder than it's appearing through this camera screen. In fact, that looks more on the orange side of red, but believe me, it's a lovely colour, lovely shade of red. Now, the white ones obviously are going to have the white inner, as they're white, they will. But with some of the whites, what you find is you've got these, and I can't see if I can get in there so we can show you. And it has this sort of pink edging to it. I don't know if you can make that out. But they all have different shades of everything. Here's a better example of it. That one there has a pink edge around it. It's very subtle. It's only just there. And on some of them, you can only just see it and you really have to look. But this particular poppy is brilliant for pollinators. It's got the typical little black beetle there, but it has other flies of all different sizes and all different types. It also has bees flying into it as well, which is a good thing. So it's good for pollinators. The one thing that I need to point out is you should really remove. Let's show you this one here. This is a good example of the ones that you really need to remove. Now, although this has slight flecks in the black, I think you can just make those out there. There you go. It really, you need to let it flower. You need to tag the plant itself. Put a little string around the plant if you must, if you can't remember where it's going to be. Let it do its thing, let it flower, enjoy the flowers, and then remove it, because what you want to be doing is encouraging the true type of poppy that the Reverend developed over time. So if you want to do him a favour, start removing those ones, and then as a result of that, you should get more and more of the Shirley series type. Now, be careful when you plant this one, because it does seed everywhere. It's a good seeder, and if you've got a wild area or a border that you think you don't mind too much, you can control this and put it in that. It's a great plant. I mean, I've got it in a mixed border at the moment, and I've removed absolutely tens of these things, but I leave them alone because they just never stop flowering. So once they start flowering, they don't stop. Here's a good example of the ones you should be removing. Remove that in favour of the pink ones. Now, I'm not a big pink fan, but I do love these pinks that these produce. This is another white with the, this is more obvious. This has got pinks to the edging of it. And that's a really nice example of it. So we developed this strain, and it must have that white fleck. So when you've got these, they're available all over the place. Try and remove a lot of the deep coloured inners. Try and get rid of those ones once they've finished flowering, and then you'll be blessed over the coming years with all this different series of poppies. I mean, this is a salmon pink one, this one here, not so obvious through the camera, but it has a white edging to it, a frilly edge to it, which is really nice. More otherflies, they're on it all the time, so it's excellent for pollinators. But it's in this type of weather that we're having at the moment, it's just outstanding. And I highly recommend that if you're after a poppy, this is the one you get. Now, I was told yesterday that by somebody who visited the garden that they recommend this one for flower arrangements and that. I don't know if I agree with that, because it's so tender and so papery that it must drop to bits. And you can see through the floor, they're dropping to bits all the time. These maybe last a couple of days each, but there are so many flowers on it that it really doesn't matter whether it drops them quickly or not, because it's always being replaced by another one. I've had lots of whites this year, which is nice. I like the white ones. And again, the pollinators on this pink one. And again, you can only just see the white in a bit at the base there. Just where the pollinator is, you can see there's a little white circle, and that's the true one. So I guess the Reverend was really going for this type of look, the more white in it, and they are truly stunning. And I'm not one for pinks and not one for sort of blousy flowers, because I'm a bit of a grass man, but I absolutely love these. I've had these particular poppies in other gardens, and I've always loved them. As I said, the only thing against them is that they will seed around, but a good gardener will control that and know how to control that. The best way to do that is when we get to this phase. If the poppies that you don't want, and it's the type, you know, without the white inner, we get to this phase, that's the point to pull them out. Once they're all finished, it'll take another, 2 or 3 weeks before they get to any state where they're going to set seed. So you can actually just yank them out the garden and just get rid of them. And they will just keep coming. And the one advice I will give you as well is to, early on, you'll see these things popping up all over the place. Remove at least half of what you're seeing. I kid you not, you will just not get them all. They will just keep coming and coming and coming. And what you need to do is start removing them. So I'm going to enjoy these reds. I'm not going to rip them out. I'm going to leave them where they are. I was trying to find one that I could rip out to demonstrate how to get rid of these things. Here we go. Here's a good one. Right, okay, so that's got to that point. And it's got its seed heads there. As you can see, it's setting them. And within 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a bit longer, they will set seed. And if that's one that hasn't got really a bit of a red inner, then that's not good to keep. Now, I don't know, because, you know, I'm not here all the time. But what you do is you just simply get hold of it. And then, hang on, this is a bit thin, this one. Pull it out. Out it comes with its root. There's the root. It's all out. It is an annual. It's not a perennial. It'll not keep coming back from the same plant. So you're not doing it any harm by taking it out. Remove it, bin it, and wait for next year's flowers to come. And you'll end up with a wonderful display like this in a mixed border. It's good for any border, really, this plant. And it looks particularly good in the sunlight, which it does now. And up from a grassy bottom inside, it's just a standout plant. So that's a papaver rhoeas, the Shirley series poppy. Look for it from the big seed suppliers. I think you'll be able to find it in garden centres. They should sell it. It sells out quite quick, I think, because of its beauty. It really is stunning. I'm going to collect seeds. I'm going to hopefully distribute them to friends. Let them have them. I'm not going to sell them on. I'm just going to give away seeds, because I think everybody needs this in the garden. If you want any, when I lift them, send me a little message here on YouTube, and I'll do my best to get some to you once they've set seed. Thanks for looking again. Don't forget I'm on Instagram. I put a lot of postings on Instagram. If you look up a gardener's journey.1, look on there and you'll see, you may see examples of this particular plant in photograph form. Worth having, and put it in your borders. It's great. Thanks for looking. Ta-da.